a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaw@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
Barbara Smith. I help entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders craft their authentic personal brand story so that they attract the clients that they want with confidence, power, and prowess. The transformational training, when you see it, and I get to see it when I'm in front of people training them, I'm a reader of eyes because eyes don't lie.
Hello, everybody. This is the Follow Brand Podcast with your host, Grant McGaw. I love something about the Big Apple. There's things going on in New York right now. The Knicks are winning. Can you believe it? The Knicks are actually relevant. And we have some very relevant people that hail from the Big Apple, the New York City. And one of those bigger names that I have been graced to know the last couple of years is Barbara H. Smith. She is a celebrity trainer. I'm going to let her tell her story, which is remarkable. We have a lot of similar roots in technology, in public speaking, and in brand awareness, and all these different things when it comes to leadership training. We're going to have a candid conversation with Barbara H. Smith today on the Follow Brand Podcast. So, Barbara, would you like to introduce yourself?
Great. Yes, absolutely. I'm Barbara H. Smith. I help entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders craft their authentic personal brand story so that they attract the clients that they want with confidence, power, and prowess. That's me. I'm Barbara H. Smith. Don't forget the H.
Don't forget. Did you get that elevator pitch? Wow. Did you get that? That's textbook elevator pitch for Barbara H. Smith. She's like, don't forget that. That was wonderful. We're going to back up the clock just a little bit. I just talked about the Big Apple. I want you to talk, just give me a little bit of context of your history in the Big Apple. And then we're going to talk about, you got that technology layer, what I'm very curious about, and how you begin to transition into the role that you're in now.
Well, that's a great question, Grant. Let's start at the beginning. I was an engineer by age 3, an instructor by age 8, and a race car driver by age 16. Now, those are 3 separate and distinct titles, but stories behind them. I grew up in a small town in New York, which is 45 minutes northwest of Manhattan. I was close enough to New York City to not be in New York City, but close enough and far away to get to the city whenever I wanted to. So the ambiance and the connectivity of being a New Yorker is still there, although people from Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, the 5 boroughs would say, she's from the country. But I was close enough to be near it and enough to experience all of what they have to offer, the food and the people and the ambiance of New York City, the city that never sleeps. But I grew up in a small town called Spring Valley, New York. And I don't remember how many people, but it was called a village, literally a Village. So it wasn't a city, it wasn't a town, it was the village of Spring Valley, New York. And my parents were middle-class Americans. My father, as far as I know, was an entrepreneur for 35 years. He wasn't an entrepreneur when I was born, but I don't know anything about that part. The only part I know is that my father was an entrepreneur. My mother was in early childhood education. So she watched the babies and she has certification in those areas. But I grew up, and at the age of 3, my mother figured out that I was a different child. Back then, in those days, little girls were taught to be homemakers, secretaries, or nurses. That was it. That was all we had as we were expected to do. But I didn't like dolls. I didn't then, and I still don't. I'm just saying. I like big trucks, though.
Yeah.
So I learned that she brought me home from grocery store one day, put me in the center of the floor with this toy. And this toy it was a stuffed animal, and it had symbols on its hands, and its wheels went round and round. It was on a trike. She set me on the kitchen floor. She went to start the dinner, and I moseyed away from the kitchen. She didn't notice for a while. And when she did, what do you think she did? Because if a 2-year-old gets out of your sight, what do you need to do? You need to go find him.
Oh, yeah.
She went into the next room. There I was, Grant, in the middle of the floor with all of the pieces of this toy apart, like all over. And she thought, what a destructive little girl she is. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. She turned away, she says, momentarily to go back to check the food in the kitchen, and she heard a noise coming from that same room that sounded like cymbals. And what she did next was run into the next room. And there I was again with the toy entirely put back together. Ladies and gentlemen, a 3-year-old engineer.
Yeah.
Fast forward 40 years, 30 years, and I became a computer information technology major in college, as well as Department of Defense senior systems engineer. So what is the point of that story? The point of the story is those children have innate abilities early on. Cultivate them, because had she known that I should have been an engineer, we would have taken a different trajectory early on. But I had been in business administration and doing things, with typing and all these kinds of things, but that wasn't my passion. I still to this day love the technology. I'm loving AI. I don't care what you got to say about it. I'm loving it. So I became an engineer, but it took me some struggles to break through the industry, because they, again, in the 1990s, that was when my first exposure to information technology was. I was working for a company, a hotel management company, as a budget analyst. And they were being taken over by Lane Hospitality, who was out of Chicago. And they were the first ones that I ever saw do computer networking together, computers connected to one another. Before that, we had SneakerNet. That's right. Put on your sneakers, run down the hall, take the disc, and they pop it in. SneakerNet, right. So that's how my technology started. Nobody wanted the job. Nobody saw it. And I didn't know what was coming. But Grant, I felt like something big was happening. And so I asked them if I could have the job, but could they change the title on my business cards to budget analyst / network engineer, network administrator? They would not. So I went to the local Staples and made my own business cards with their logo saying budget analyst / network administrator. I became the backup and recovery administrator at that time, and I understood how to back up files and restore files and all of that. The next move came when I left there and went to be a network administrator, proper network administrator, no budget analyst. And that led to the next and the next and the next and the next. And the next thing I know, I had about 15 years of network administration. I was not at all a software engineer, not at all somebody that did coding. But if you want to connect a computer to the LAN and the WAN, local area network, wide area network, for those of you who don't know what that means, I was that one running cables, connecting you to the DHCP, all the stuff, all the words. I'm not going to go through the words because you don't want to lose people when you start talking about all of the technical terms. And then what happened next was a pivot. I was always helping. As a matter of fact, I was always helping somebody with technology or somebody with an idea or somebody with a concept. In school, in elementary school, I used to get sent to the principal's office because I was always talking, helping other children when they didn't get their studies. I was good in school, so I helped everybody. And I always get sent to the principal's office for talking. Imagine that. I get sent to the principal's office for talking. Now I get paid to talk. How about that? I'm just saying. I love it. But what happened at the Joint Forces Command in Suffolk, Virginia, was one of the gentlemen I was helping said, "You are so patient and you explain these complex concepts so well, and you don't make me feel like I'm stupid." And I'm like, why would I do that? If you don't know, you don't know. That's not your lane. It's my lane. But I wasn't the instructor. I was always helping people at random. And he said, "Did you ever think about being an instructor at the collegiate level?" And I said, "Well, I thought you had to have a PhD to do that." He said, "No, you have your master's degree, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "My daughter is the director of faculty services at Averett University, and I'm going to watch this, tell her to hire you." And I thought, yeah, let me know how that works out for you. She called me on the phone and said, "My father said I should hire you. I need you to come in and fill out the application, and you're going to be hired." What? Wow. So I started teaching at Averett University as an adjunct, and I am still teaching as an adjunct to this day. Just started back with Virginia Peninsula Community College, and I teach as an adjunct kind of for fun. I get paid for it, but it's kind of for fun because I love people getting those aha moments. Those speaker engagements is what I call them, have granted me other opportunities. Like I met the infamous Dr. Reuben West when I was a part of the Black Mastermind group. He was our keynote for graduation, and I took his class. I thought I was good at speaking. Matter of fact, I knew I was good, but I wasn't great until I met Dr. Reuben West. And I took his course, and he's taught me the techniques and strategies. He taught me the theory behind what you're saying and how you're saying and when you say it. And the inflections were already there, but there are techniques that I had never heard of, Grant, like the tie back, like it's discussion versus dialogue. And it's not just you talking, you're including the audience in your talk. And he taught me there's so many techniques that I now teach those techniques to speakers. And so that's how I came from being a geek with a personality to a speaker. I am a child of the Most High God. He has gifted me in ways that I could not even imagine and didn't know.
There was a time when I didn't know who I was. I listened to other people tell me who I should be, what I should do. I listened to people telling me that I should be a boutique owner, that I should be a construction manager, that I should be a laborer. Have you ever felt like you should do something else, be something else, go somewhere else, be wherever you wanted to be, and you felt like you were in a box? Anybody in the room? And you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? And you kept trying to go and you couldn't get out. Anybody in the room? But let me tell you, you need to rock the box. Rock the box.
I am engaging, inspiring, and empowering. I would give you everything I know. Just by touching you, if I could, by osmosis, give you every single thing I've learned, I've gone through, I know I would. We know that's not possible, but as it is possible, I love to share information with people.
Some of you out there, people have told you that you can't be, you can't have, you can't do. But I will tell you, like Kingston said, you can, you must, and you will. If it's to be, it's going to be me. You got to say it. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be.
Barbara is because she believed what her mama said about her and not what other people told her.
Every day you wake up, when you're in a situation, it's your choice whether it's an advantage or the disadvantage.
She gained her confidence and her life, and now she is a testimony.
If I can help you elevate yourself, then I feel like I'm elevating my own self as well. What you know and I know together can change the world.
Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM, is turning heads in the healthcare and information technology sectors with his groundbreaking approach to personal branding and business development. By challenging conventional strategies, he's setting a new standard for how executives present themselves and their businesses to the world. McGaw's expertise isn't just about standing out. It's about strategic guidance, generating leads, and building networks that propel executives beyond their competition. His focus on authenticity allows leaders to leverage their unique stories, driving exponential growth and success in their industries. Beyond branding, McGaw is a fervent advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace. He's committed to helping organizations cultivate environments where innovation and collaboration thrive through inclusive cultures. And for those eager to dive deeper, McGaw hosts the Follow the Brand podcast. Here, he unpacks the intricacies of personal branding and business growth, offering valuable insights for professionals eager to redefine their identities and share their narratives with the world.
That is a wonderful story. And since we're so close to Mother's Day, man, this story about your mother, she's still probably wowed by you. I am sure. Like this child here, you know.
She is my biggest fan. I call her my mom manager. She manages. She's out and about like a scout on the route right now in her 4Runner, her Toyota 4Runner. She had a doctor's appointment, and she's 85 years young, and she goes when she wants to go, if she wants to go in her truck to wherever she needs to go. But she is my mom manager. She makes sure I have business cards when we go out. She makes sure she collects the money for the books if we sell books. She signs people up for our courses. She's truly the mom manager. Don't tell her she don't get paid for it, though.
It's out now, Mom. Mom, she owe you some back money. No doubt about it. But I'm sure it's out of love that we have these kinds of influences in our lives. The fact that you talked about, engineering. Now I have a technology background, and I didn't do the work. I wasn't in there pushing the buttons and plugging in things. I was in sales, business development, but it was in the infrastructure side. So I know compute, I know storage, I know networking. When you're talking DHCP, I'm like, wow. And a lot of my audience are listening now are in information technology or healthcare information technology. They're going to appreciate, they're like, wow, what a transformational story. Now, in your business, you promote transformational change within the business environment. Tell us more about that and why that's so important.
That's a great question, Grant. I appreciate you asking. It is evident that all of us that are still breathing have come here with a gift. And so what happens to us is we've had some experiences that have told us that we are not good enough, or we can't, or it just stopped us in our tracks. So what our company does, BHS and Associates, is a transformational training organization. And what we do first off the bat when you engage with us is we do an assessment. What are your strengths? What things do you love to do? What things do you not like to do so much? And in the DISC assessment, we discover what you already know but may not have verbalized. Once we do that, we get down to brass tactics, meaning what do you want to do? No one really asks us what we want. What do you want to do? If money was no object, if you didn't have to figure out how it was going to get done, what would you do? What would you want to do? Me, I want to talk. I want to encourage people. I want to help them come up higher. I want them to dream and live the life of their dreams. And so we talk about your dreams, your aspirations, and then we get down to the psychology of getting your desires out and on paper. You have to first think it, your thoughts. We serve 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day, every single day. But what are you thinking about? Do you ever stop to ask yourself, what am I thinking about? We have the capacity in our brains to do anything we want. But we have been told so many times, you can't do that. That's stupid. You shouldn't do that. But what if you took away all of that negativity, which, by the way, is 90% of the thoughts we think every day?
True.
What if we took away all that negativity and just decided, just put a line in the sand and said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do, and block out all of the naysayers, including the one that's between your ears. What if you did that? Well, you would find out that you could live the life of your dreams. And so we work with people on getting those ideas out. No idea is silly. No idea is stupid. Every idea you have, every thought you have about what you want is possible. And so that is transformational in and of itself. And then we have a women's event, a women's conference, mostly for executive women, but any leader, any woman who is aspiring to be a leader, in October, where we do exactly that. We excavate what are those desires inside your heart that have been there forever. And because of money, because of naysayers, because of whatever, you decided that you would hide them and put them on the back shelf. So yes, we do transformational training.
Yes, you do. And that's so important. And I want to tie that together, what you were doing earlier as a child. Imagination. You were living in your imagination. You were 3 years old, taking that toy apart, putting it back together without any fear, without any other thoughts, no understanding of right, wrong in a certain sense. But you were just purely in your imagination. And that's what children do. They live in their imagination. They can take just about anything and make it real to them in a real imaginary world that is very creative. If we can step into that, and when I'm hearing it, you're helping people trying to let go of some of that negative programming that they've picked up along life's way, and how you get stopped. Like you reach a certain stage in your life and you plateau and you don't
Mhm.
continue to grow and
Mhm.
become who you are, your fullest potential. Because at the end of the day, and time goes very quickly, you want to be
Yes.
able to turn around and look and say, this is what I was able to do with the talent that I have. We always hear in a lot of church groups, this little light of mine, I'm going to
Yes.
let it shine, right? And we need to do that, not be afraid. It's like, oh, wow, but I got to pay these bills. I got to do this. I got to do that. There's always a distraction that takes
Good
you away
word.
from your goal, what your objectives. But if you can get some clarity, you can get with Barbara and her team. Like, you know what? We're just going to shut the door on all that noise. Let's get in
Yes.
a room where we can let our imagination, our creativity grow. We can dream and really get deep in it and then get some structure around it. Like, no, we're not, this is not make believe. This is
Right.
something you can become because you look at your story and how you were getting programming earlier, saying, "Hey, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a teacher, you're going to. That's what you're going to do. That programming that's coming out, even though you're starting out in engineering, and then you morph into that because you said, no, you're going to become an engineer, and you did that, and then you began to know even more about how you can influence others and that you picked up these mentors along the way like, hey, I
Yes.
can speak, I can talk, but then I need to be, I need some training, personal training around that so I can bring out even more of that. And I think anybody listening to this podcast can tell, wow, she's very, very skilled at speaking. She's very, very skilled at telling a story that's impactful and engaging. Talk to us a little bit about storytelling in your business and how that has helped you to work with all the different clients and companies in your portfolio.
Awesome. Thank you for that question. Listen, I got to step back for a second and tell you that I had a traumatic experience in my life at age 12. I was a victim of a rape and I stuttered profusely. I couldn't get a sentence out. I was a recluse. I didn't talk much. And so now I tell that story to the survivors of those kinds of traumas. But to become a speaker, it took so many hours of self-development. Hear me. You can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And so people want you to be this or that or the other thing, and they wanted me to be this or that or the other thing. But I learned early on that speaking to people and uplifting, exhorting is one of my gifts in the spirit. Lifting people's spirits. People are hurting today. And so my major goal to give glory to God is to lift up the spirits of his people and help them up give them a hand up, because that's the only reason you should look down on anyone is to be giving them a hand up. And so what I've learned is I've been studying the mind a lot in the last several years, and we are attuned when you tell stories. We're in tune when you tell stories. Our imaginations and our minds are always crafting stories to figure out how to navigate this world. That's a fact of how our mind works. Now, if I know that our mind works by cultivating stories of experiences that we've had, then what better way to engage an audience than to tell a story? I'm going to give you this technique for free. How many times have you gone to an event and the first thing the person says on the stage is, "How's everybody doing? It was a great ride here. Weather's nice." You've already turned them off. You have exactly 3 seconds to engage your audience before they tune you out. And the first thing to do, especially if you want to be a quality speaker, is to start your talk with a story. In 1962, I was 3 years old. I was an engineer. If you were there, you would have seen me sitting in the corner of a room with a toy. it catches your attention right away because you're like, okay, so what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Right? And you always start with the story. Once I captivate the audience with the story and I help them understand how I crafted the story, they want to do the same. And so learning how to tell stories, you can, as long as you know your audience. I worked for an organization as a consultant once upon a time. I won't give you their name, but I'll give you their slogan and you'll figure it out. So what's in your wallet? Anyway, I worked for this organization as a consultant, and their training was very technical. As a matter of fact, it was called technical writing. And technical writing is boring. Can I say that with a capital B?
With a big B.
Right? But every time I entered the room, I started with a story. Whatever story it was, I always talked to the audience members before the talk. So I got a little bit of information, tidbits, a little breadcrumbs of what they're interested in. And I'd go into my archive and pull out a story that related to that. And then I'd point to either one or two of them that I had spoken to. Isn't that right, Grant? And of course, they'd be going, yup, that's right. So you tell the story and then you go into the training. Sometimes it's totally unrelated to the training, but it gets your audience captivated in what you want to say. That's a tool and technique I use every single time that I stand in front of an audience. And so what I teach is how to take your personal stories. We all have tons of them, but we've forgotten so many of them. I do work and workbooks. This last book that I created, Unleash the Warrior Within, allows you to craft those stories so that you can use them on the ready whenever you need them. And so they work in every instance, in every speaking arena, in every venue, in every platform, to teach and tell stories about anything you want. This depends on how you want to use it. Dr. West always says, tell a story, but never tell a story without a point, and never make a point without a story.
Exciting time to be in digital marketing with the advent, the explosion of generative AI chatbots. They're better known as ChatGPT. There's Bard, there's Claude, there's all kinds of this new one came out called Gemini. There's so many different tools that really what it comes down to is that it's made my business more precise. I can do things more quicker, I would say, and to elevate my brand messaging to a level that allows me to be as creative as possible. Digital market economy is taking the world by storm, probably over the last decade or so, but is really escalating now in the advent of AI because it is a game changer for a lot of businesses. It's not just all the big boys that can play in this space because of cloud computing, because of mobile computing, and now you have these tools at your disposal. You've got a laptop, you've got a computer, you can now digitize yourself to a level and get your message out there, and that equates to business. build a 5-star brand that stands out and captivates? Discover the art of crafting a strong and memorable brand identity. From choosing the right colors to making your brand unforgettable on social media, we guide you every step of the way. Learn how to design a brand that resonates deeply with your audience, ensuring they not only remember but love your brand. Whether it's enhancing visual appeal or mastering social platforms, we have got you covered. Dive into the world of impactful branding with us and see the difference. Follow the brand for more insights and expert tips. Don't just be seen, be remembered. Join us now. Wise word. You just giving away my whole secret sauce. This is why the Follow Brand Podcast has been so successful, because it showcases the stories of others. I love hearing the stories of others, and it gives them that opportunity. And maybe they've never had the opportunity, or they haven't had as many opportunities to tell their personal story and to really talk through it, not to represent a corporation or associations, but to represent themselves and how they navigate all these different plateaus and these different scenarios in which they are involved in. And it is indeed very, very powerful. And what you said, and I want my IT audience to really tune into this, because they get it. The technical part, when you work in the information technology world, the marketing of it, the branding of it is so awful. And I'll give you a case in point. Right now, we're all talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And if you look at the branding around it, they're all talking about the what of it. It's like, opening up the hood of a car, looking at the engine and describing all these parts of the engine, how this all works together. Most people are like, dude, can I get the A to B in the thing? That's really what I want to know. And that's what people need to know. The story, what does AI enable you to accomplish? Right. If you told the story from that angle and your marketing and branding told that story, so people are all like, oh my God, the robot's going to take over my job and all this. It's like, no. The wrong story, wrong messaging, wrong branding. Show people how these things operate. Like right now, we're on a technological platform. And that technological platform allows me and Barbara to transcend time and space to begin to have a real conversation in real time. So beautiful. Now, I'm not going to tell you all the different things of how that all works and all the infrastructure. I'm sure Barbara could probably tell you exactly how it works because she was in networking. But that's boring, right? We don't need it. We just know it does it. All right, it does it. Hey, fine. I'm glad it does it. AI around the same thing. It does certain things, but you've got to use it to amplify your voice, to amplify certain things within your world, to do things better, quicker, faster, all of these things. I'm just bringing all this up because we need to understand the technological angle, but do not dehumanize the situation. As human beings, we are so powerful and we don't tune in to our highest potential. Most people only use 10% of their brain power because we are in what we call a coma of habits. Now, step back with what I just said. Coma of habits, what you do on a daily basis that you're just going through the motions on. It's tactical, tacit knowledge. You already know what you're doing, and you are in a robotic type thing because you're not tapping into your creativity. You're just going through these motions, and you're not breaking free from this mold, and you're letting that mold kind of dictate to you what your capabilities are, right?
That's right.
If you can remove that, and I think when I think of Barbara H. Smith and what she does at BHS and Associates, you're breaking down that mold, first of all. and then given the opportunity for that entity within that you to be all you can be.
That's
I think
right.
that is so wonderful. Talk to us more about how you feel when you actually see somebody. See, this one thing you say, yeah, we're going to do transformational training. When you actually see the transformation, and you've seen these changes within yourself, talk to us about that.
That is so true, Grant. The transformational training, when you see it, and I get to see it when I'm in front of people training them. I'm a reader of eyes because the eyes don't lie. Excuse me. The eyes don't lie. And so when I look around the room, because I'm scanning the room at all times, I'll give you an example of scanning the room. When I teach at an adjunct level, I'm scanning the room for comprehension. And you can tell when people don't understand because they have this little brow frown or they're glazed over. And then I'm able to pivot and turn the information in a different way for them to understand it. And when I do, I'm still watching those eyes. And you'll see things like ever so slightly, right? And then I know the light bulb turned on. Wow, that sends almost shivers through my soul because it means that I was able to reach into the heart of that person, into the mind of that person, and make a change where they are now understanding. One thing is worse than anything in the world is sitting in front of a lecturer, which I don't do a whole lot of lecturing, but in front of a lecturer and you not understand what's going on. That's the worst feeling. For me, that's the worst feeling. I want to know. I want to know. And so I feel like other people want to know. And so when I am teaching, when I am training, I am looking for comprehension. And I always say, I think it's a habit. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Do you understand what I mean? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I always say something. And if they don't, you'll see them go, not. So that's communication that we don't pay attention to. That nonverbal communication tells me some are getting it, some are not. Let me pivot, go a different way. And I'll say, I won't say, I see that you're not getting it. I'll say, all right, let me say this a different way. Or let's try it this way. Or have you ever thought about it this way? It lets them know I'm going to explain the same thing again, but in a different way, that maybe they'll get it this time. And if I can pick up 95% of the room, I'll pick up the rest during the break.
Yeah.
There's no one left behind when I'm teaching because I don't like being confused in a teaching situation. And I suspect that other people don't like being confused. So, yeah.
Are you ready? My coach, Barbara H. Smith. Why did I hire her? Because she's the best.
Barbara H. Smith is a powerhouse. She just walks in the room and grabs your attention, and she does that in a way that just makes you feel loved and like she's paying attention to you. She cares about you, and she wants to see you be your best self.
She was able to dig inside and find the passion that was deep within me.
Barbara's energy is one of the reasons that I had to have her as my coach. I love the way she is real with people.
The reason I felt like I needed a coach was because I have some big goals and I needed to build my confidence. I knew that Barbara could help me do that.
I felt that I could trust her.
I would definitely recommend to get coaching from Barbara H. Smith if you feel like you need to level up your confidence. She would just help you feel like bold, like you can take on the world.
She has really shown me who I am. She has changed my mindset to a place that I know that I am more powerful today than I would have ever been if I had never met Barbara Smith.
Follow the Brand TV broadcast host, Grant McGaw, as he visits with top executives and entrepreneurs to find out their secrets of success with their personal brand. Follow the Brand TV broadcast host as he focuses on brand development to build better relationships, bring value to your business, relationships, and career. You will enjoy listening to each episode that is tailored to speak to you directly. If you're looking for this type of clarity in terms of building your brand, you have tuned into the right station. Each episode will help you to shape a conversation in the 5-Star BDM network of 20,000 professionals and become a springboard for your corporate engagement and business opportunities. Each guest will frame their story in the areas of personal branding, business development, career development, financial empowerment, and technology innovation. Grant McGaw explains why he is the CEO and owner of his own professional career. Grant is an accomplished business leader and entrepreneur who wants to give back to individuals to grow their personal brand strategy. Tune in as he weaves his story about new possibilities, while to you exceed expectations. If you love storytelling, this show will make for fun.
Very important. And I have one last question for you. And this is important, but we have a lot of people that are tuning into our show. And one thing people don't realize, we met on the Black Business Network, Black Business Expo and Olympics through Dr. Eric Kelly a few years back. And I was always impressed with Barbara H. Smith. She came on, first time I ever tuned into the show, she came on. She had that beautiful background that she has right now. I said, what a network. This is wonderful. She is an anchor. This is great. She always kicks it off, on Monday morning. And it's a great, great opportunity for entrepreneurs, Black businesses, to showcase themselves, to talk about business and actually bring it together on a global scale. Here's my question, because we have K through 12 people and we're helping them with scholarships and technology to help them to compete in this world. Yes. But sometimes they have trauma, they have things. You talked about a trauma that you went through at 12, which is a very impressionable age.
Yes.
You got through that. Because someone out there is going through something that they're struggling with, and it may hold them for decades if they don't get through it. I want you to help them understand how you can get through certain things in your life by putting forth the correct methodology to help you through it. I don't know if I'm using the right words, but you get where I'm going from, to help that individual to move past and get to another plateau.
Yeah, that's so important, Grant. I'm glad you brought that up. It took me a long time to even say those words in public, that something happened to me, right? Because it took me almost 25 years to even admit or tell anyone. I kept the secret, and it changed the trajectory of my life. It made my thought processes a whole lot different than they would have been had it not happened. But what I want to tell someone out there that maybe be going through a similar thing or something more traumatic is that your trauma does not define you. The trauma is not your fault. And that's what happened when I was going through my trauma. I blamed myself. I'm 12. How do you blame yourself? You don't have enough capacity in your mind yet to know that it's not your fault. And then abusers have a tendency to make you feel scared. And so if anyone is out there experiencing trauma, you got to find somebody that you absolutely trust and tell them that you have something very important that you need to talk to them about. You've got to have somebody in your circle, a pastor, a friend, a parent, a teacher, somebody who you trust, somebody who takes an interest in you, and just tell them that you have something very hurtful that you want to tell them. That's part of the healing. And if you can't do that, then get out a piece of paper and a book, in a notebook, and write out all your feelings. It doesn't have to be in order. It doesn't have to be complete sentences. If you're angry, write, I'm angry. Write, I'm hurt. Write, I'm sad. Write it out. It is a form of therapy. If you don't have anybody else to talk to, say it to the universe. Say it on paper. Say it to God. Say it to whoever you're writing to, yourself. But just hide it if you have to. But get it out of your system. That's the way you get it out. And it took me years and years to be able to tell the entire story without crying. And when I told it the first time and cried through the entire thing, 7 ladies, I told it at my church, and 7 ladies came up to me, shook my hand, hugged me tightly, and said, "You also told my story." It was that moment, Grant, that I knew that I had to keep telling the story. And every time I tell it, I get a little bit more healed. And so that's what I would say to anybody out there that is experiencing a trauma.
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone out in my audience, this is Barbara H. Smith. She is telling the story. She's telling us how to heal, and she's telling us how to get better in our lives. Leave us with your contact information so we can, and you talked about that event that's going on in October. Bring that back up so we have a very good, vivid understanding. And happy Mother's Day to you and your mother.
Thank you so much, Grant. Yes, you can reach me on all platforms if you go to my link tree, LINKTREE. So the way you write it is linktr.ee//BH Smith. That's linktr.ee/B as in Barbara, H as in Holmes, S as in Smith, SMITH. And you get everything there. You'll get my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my IG, my books. All of it is right there. The event in October is on there. So if you go to my website, you can get the event in October. It's easy. It's Barbara. That's 2 bars. BARBARA H Smith. BarbaraHSmith.com. You can go to my website and you'll see the details for the October 25th, 26th, 27th event. It is going to be a phenomenal event, as it always is. This is our 3rd year, Grant, and the ladies leave there on cloud 999 with tools, techniques, and tips on how to level up their lives. I'm all about coaching. My coaching is mainly for women, and my heartstrings are women and children and a few good men. So
you good man. I love it. I love it. Now, is that a virtual? Is it in person? Is it both?
We are in Ocean City, Maryland for 3 days, and we are on the beach. All of the hotels, at all of the hotel rooms at the Hilton Inn and Suites is a suite facing the ocean. And not only is it powerful women coming to present, but it is a luxurious hotel with all of the flavor and all of the ambiance of relaxation on the beach.
I love it, man. I got it. Now you go. Well, I'm saying my daughter. How about that? I said, I want to go. I said a few good men. Maybe I can. We'll see. Your audience, you can tune in. Yes, go ahead, Barbara.
We have the husbands come, but they just can't attend the sessions.
I got you. And that's okay. We're on the beach. I know there's a golf course near there and a cigar bar. We're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah.
So your audience definitely can see all these episodes, just like with Barbara H. These are the stories that we tell on Follow Brand at 5-Star BDM. You can tune in to all of them at my website. That is the number 5-Star STAR BDM. That stands for branddevelopmentmasters.com. That's 5-Star BDM. This has been wonderful, Barbara. Thank you so much for being on the show.
It's my honor for you to even have me on your show.
Well, we're going to be on another show pretty soon. You can always catch us on the Black Business Expo, most likely in the next month. We love doing the show. We love giving out good knowledge. This has been wonderful. I will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thank you so much, Grant.
You're welcome. The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at @BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
Ready to elevate your brand and make a lasting impact? Dive into the world of the Fellow Brand where insights meet action. Shop now at our e-commerce store for exclusive merchandise that speaks to you. Transform, engage, and soar with 5-Star BDM. Your journey to brand brilliance begins today. Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.5starbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius.